as I understand your sort of discomfort, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have a discomfort with this kind of placing of our own ownership of every single choice and not being in communal relationship with God and with the other, so we've become so individualistic. But from my understanding of the Trinity as strongly influenced by Jürgen Moltmann, you know, if you look at the Trinity as persons in relation, still emphasizing the distinctiveness of each person in relation, I don't see such a strong problem with emphasizing individual choice. Rather, I see the encouragement and the ideal as being one that is always mutually choosing to do the best for the other.
I think it has more to do with the transcending and objective nature of human goods. I mean, it does have to do with community, but I can understand how theologically one can still affirm rights, as Jürgen Moltmann evidently does. I haven't read the book, but I know he has written on this, and Trinitarian community. In the perspective which I'm putting forward, human freedom is the mode in which we participate in the goods that God gives us, whether these goods be human relationships or the divine human relationship itself, whether these goods be material or spiritual, or relate to the non-human creation. And that, when one then attaches right to freedom, one is, again, I come back to the sort of misplacement, one is singling out the mode of participation as something having a kind of priority in a certain sense, an independent conceptual moral focus. And that I'm not willing to do. And if I differ from Moltmann, it would probably be on that point rather than necessarily the relational one. But I do think that my point about juridicalizing of human relations, that I think happens with rights, even when people are not oriented to demanding their own rights, but demanding the rights of their neighbors, that still, to me as a theologian, smacks of juridicalizing of human relationships. It's what the reformers, both Protestant, but both continental and English, would call works righteousness.